Welcome to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
And welcome everyone to the Undrafted Uncensored, where we are fully aware things are going bad when your quarterback's best pass is to himself.
Oh God, that pissed me off.
Well, the things can only be going one of two ways, honestly, because everything is either going your way or everything is going terribly, and we all know which way it went for the Ravens.
Yep. Some of us should have listened to ourselves and not talked ourselves out of what we were thinking and just accepted that the past is the past and the past is also the future. And some teams just can't get over that hump. The hump.
They're lovely lady lumps.
Speaking of humping,
oh God, no, we don't need to hear about your personal life. Sports.
You know, I'm on March 28th. I'm humping my way to opening day in Arizona.
Nice.
Word.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Just got it.
That's a cool one.
Yeah. So
does that mark one off too?
Definitely does. That one of these for opening day prices. But speaking of that, Colorado Rockies. Just because I know we're not really going to talk baseball this segment or this show, I want to start off
now.
Tickets for the team that was playing in the World Series last year are less expensive than your tickets to start off, and I got 2 rows on the third baseline off of the field, 2 rows up.
Hang on. Let me guess. Let's see here. So your third base line, first level?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2 rows up. Off the dugout or off the railing?
Railing.
Okay, off the railing, 2 rows up. Third base. How far away from third base are you? Like, how far behind it?
I'm closer to right field than I am to third base.
Left field?
Yeah, but like, tell us in meters.
No, that would be right field.
Third base and left field are on the same side, homie.
First base
line. Do you have the latitude and the longitude
okay.
of your seats?
Hang on, let me get to the other side of the field real quick. So we're on the first base side. We're more in right field than we are first base.
Jump in the hot tub on your way over.
Yeah.
Hi, ladies. I'll be back in a minute. I got to go find Colin real quick. You know, he's got a girlfriend. He's fine.
Don't forget.
Hi, Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller.
Love it. I'm going to say 175.
No. You're way off.
High or low?
Oh, way too high.
Really?
I'm going to say $50.
Oh, how much I paid?
Yeah.
Still way off.
Still way off.
No, I'm low.
Yeah, less than 100. Yep.
Well, I said $50.
Regular home opener.
Yeah.
You paid less than $100 to sit first level, first base side.
Well, technically it was 102, but so I had some discounts. So it was less than
that's not less than $100.
But yeah, that's after the ticket. Yeah,
the fees and everything.
The fees put it up to what? Okay.
Yeah.
So was it like $80 then? That's not bad.
Basically. $36 admin fee, service fee.
Yeah.
Ooh, so like $65 tickets, but then
printing fee, even though they're not printing you a ticket, oxygen fee so that you can survive while at the ballpark, a food fee, a seat fee, shoelace fee.
Yeah, but also buy your own food and shoelaces.
But yeah, $100.
BYO shoelaces.
2 rows up, section 111, right where I can hopefully get a foul ball and give. We'll see who's playing right field for the Rockies, but. Yes, I'm pretty excited that I got opening day tickets in. This will be my first ever opening day not in Colorado that I've seen. So
yeah, tell me how it is.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
You know, your team was in the World Series and you're charging less for your fans to get in. I mean, granted, they're playing the Rockies and the Rockies home opener is against the Cubs, but still, come on.
easy on the just against the Cubs?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's against the Cubs. I get it. It's a bigger game, but your prices are still higher than a team that was in the World Series.
Prices would have been that high if they'd been playing the.
I know it wouldn't matter if they were playing,
or the Tigers, or the Royals,
Lions, or the Bears. Yeah. Oh my, they're high.
Yeah.
All right, on to our continued program.
That's football.
But excited about baseball. Pitchers and catchers a few days.
Oh, dude, today's the first month of the year with no baseball.
Sorry. Oh yes. Sorry, I was like,
it's the first month of the year with no baseball.
Yes, it is.
Or without no baseball. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like.
Now I understand the confusion.
I'm pretty sure there was not baseball last month. Also.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the first month without no baseball. There. So first month with baseball. Okay. So they have baseball opens in February? That's crazy.
Yep. Pitchers report next year in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today.
All right. Valentine's Day. But it's kind of like the football season too. It ends up kind of just never really truly stopping, and you're like, oh man, it's already like June. They're out there doing stuff, and then it's like, oh man, it's preseason. Like the next day, you know.
Yeah, let the countdown meter for Chris Bryant begin, or the up count, the count, the ticker, Chris Bryant ticker.
Oh man! Speaking of tickers, whole lot of Kansas City fans didn't have to worry about their tickers this weekend.
Yes, they did.
However, the 49ers fans did more so until they realized that they actually can beat the defense that was in front of them if they just actually ran.
Yeah, it turns out you can come back in a game sometimes.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lions.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
I'm gonna derail this for one moment.
Lion.
Speaking of tickers, did you see what just came across the ticker? Las Vegas is hiring Cliff Kingsbury to be their OC.
Oh yeah, that was already in the works.
Yeah. But it's like official. But hello, Kyler Murray in Vegas. Anybody?
Well, it's either him or Russ.
Him or Russ? No, they're not. So. They're not doing Russ. They would never. They've seen what Russ has been doing here. They would be. I would love that. That would crack me the fuck up. Although we'd still find a way to lose somehow, like we did to Josh fucking McDaniels. The fact that we never beat Josh McDaniels, we had a chance to beat him as a head coach and we didn't, really sickens me. So I would love to get it, even though I don't hate Russell Wilson at all. It's just sad that it didn't work out. But I would love to get that chance to kind of prove, like, yes, sadly we were right and he was not the guy, and now you're stuck with him, Raiders. But no, I'm sure they're going to go and get either because they have a lower draft pick than we do, right?
Yeah, they're
not going to be
before the Broncos. Yeah.
Okay, so they might be able. They'll have the chance for one of those rookie quarterbacks sooner, but I kind of feel like they'll go at. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to bring back Derek Carr. But I think they'll go for one of those free agent quarterback guys. Kirk Cousins wouldn't surprise me. I was going to say
they might spend a lot of money on Kirk Cousins.
If they try to go for someone like that, because they kind of already did with Garoppolo.
He just doesn't fit as a Raider, though. He doesn't have that Raider look, you know? There's something about being a Raider. You just have to have that, Raider in you.
Hey,
well, they haven't been that much anymore, really.
I was going to say, don't you remember 2 Chainz Cousins?
All right.
Oh, come on, man. He would fit in great.
All right. Well played.
He
come on.
He can go visit Henry Ruggs at his state institution.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of a conundrum. I like that though, because I'm not worried about Kyler Murray that much either. Like, obviously, I think he's better than Russ. Because he's just faster and a little bit younger, but he's really only ever operated well in that Cliff Kingsbury spread offense, which I don't think is going to be like a mainstay in the NFL. I think he's going to have to learn how to operate other ways, or he's just not going to be able to last. But that would be a way to possibly extend his career, and it would get the Raiders and Cardinals. I think they're going to take a quarterback anyway. But it gets the Raiders out of the Broncos' way for taking a quarterback. So I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I think Cliff Kingsbury, he was one of those guys that was always going to come back and be an offensive coordinator. I mean, after being the guy that coached Patrick Mahomes in college and had kind of the turnaround of Baker Mayfield also, which isn't as impressive as fucking Patrick Mahomes. But, like, he had – a pretty good track record for coaching quarterbacks. So I feel like he's going to have a few more years as an OC. Maybe Adam Gase is out of the league, but we can only hope since now he's with the Raiders.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I mean,
I just thought it was
too.
Sorry, I thought it was interesting off the top that had just happened. And I know we'll get back to those games and into some of the other NFL stuff that I sent, but it's this is the time where so many rumors and things can swirl, and all of these mock drafts that I know we'll talk a little bit about will be, they could get changed. Everything changes with one move from one team, and it's just a really trickle down effect, and it's kind of a who's going to blink first, much like practice. One practice. Yes. Someone gets hurt, injured, whatever. But I was gonna say, much like the Ravens blinked first in their game, they were not a part of that game the whole damn time. Really, it was like, what is going on? They weren't. Lamar Jackson throwing a hissy fit on the sideline. I get it, he was pissed, but he threw his damn helmet. While I think that was the third quarter, maybe it was the start of the fourth. They were still within some scores, but the Chiefs' defense is for real. I mean,
that's dominant defense right there.
How good is Spagnuolo? Like, holy crap,
dude! Yeah, I mean, we've always known that he was solid, it's not like they have a ridiculous amount of stars. Like, they remind me of the no-name defense, but like obviously they got Chris Jones who's anchoring the entire thing. But like other than that, like it's a bunch of like really good players. So isn't Karlaftis out? And even he's not like top tier.
No, Karlaftis played.
Oh, did he? Okay, cool. So because I know many he was now out.
Which is I don't know if it's going forward, but Karlaftis played in the last game.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, if he played, then he's probably still good. I know many of you tore his ACL, so he's done, which is really sad because he was one of those guys that was kind of a perennial backup, and then really found a home this year with the Chiefs and was kicking some serious ass. And a secondary, I wouldn't call it great, but like Justin Reed's played really well. They have good cornerback play. Like they're just solid everywhere. And they just suffocate teams. And they have the consistency of Patrick Mahomes in the running game with Isaiah Pacheco. And it's a lethal combination, man. They're still the Chiefs.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you add on a wide receiver who decides he remembers how to catch the ball in MBS, and it's like, whoa, what is happening? What? Why are the Chiefs doing this? Oh, it's because it's a conference championship. Of course they're doing this.
Yeah. Also, you totally called it with the Kadarius Toney thing. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I don't remember what I just said.
Oh, word. But yeah, no, Colin, you totally called it with Kadarius Toney being out. He actually posted a video on Twitter ranting full of cursing and stuff like, I'm not hurt. The Chiefs are lying. This is bullshit. I should be playing. I should be out there. And like, that just makes it look worse for you, bro. Like, don't post that. Like, we all were joking that this is an upgrade by not having you on the field. And now you come out and say, I'm not hurt. They're lying. They're just benching me. Like, that's not good. That could be your NFL career. Like,
yep.
But they know what works. Guys that catch the ball, line up on sides, don't fumble,
All of the above?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that, and then, I mean, Travis Kelce, I don't know. I mean, obviously, they kind of went into a shell offense and ran the ball on the second half. But, man, 9 receptions in the first half. or no, was it 10? Maybe it was 10. I don't know. And then he got one more in the second half. It would have been 2, but there was a lateral pass to him. I thought he was literally going for the record. So there was a fun little bet I placed on it at halftime. So I was hoping he was. But that second half, I had expected the Ravens to come out and do something.
Yeah.
And they just it was absolutely
nothing. They lost.
Yeah, they did nothing. They did something in doing nothing. And for the Chiefs, like when we talk about their defense, Spagnuolo, I think we all are kind of jaded or just remembering his head coaching tenure. You know, he was the defensive coach of the Giants when they beat the Pats in the Super Bowl and they went 18-0. Like that.
I mean, he's one of the only 4-3 defensive coordinators left in the NFL, and he's really fucking good.
You know, that's a good point. Watch for that to change in the coming years, especially if the Chiefs win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If we saw the 3-4 become a thing.
Copycat league.
Yep.
If it's working, I mean, you look at how much that Chiefs team has turned it around, because we all saw the end of the season. I mean, most of it because they're in our division. Yeah. But, we watched that team just struggle to the finish line, and you thought maybe this was the beginning of the end, and
we hoped.
Yeah. In some way, like in Space Jam, they just got Michael's magic water, and next thing you know, here they are outperforming everybody again.
Michael's secret stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I never really I definitely felt that they were falling off and getting a little bit worse, but I didn't feel like they were actually done yet. I felt like they still had something left in them. If some other team had a ridiculous game and blew them out, that was going to be it. But that never happened. Their defense kept him in it. The offense was consistent. That running game is phenomenal. They kind of got lucky that it was a bunch of frigid, cold weather games that they were just built better for. Because obviously if they went against the Dolphins in a warmer situation, they could have lost that game. Or it would have been at least more high-flying and entertaining in that sense. But I love me some smash-mouth defensive football. So I'll take one of those playoff games all day. But they just felt like they had the kind of the grizzled mindset. They felt like the veteran, almost like one of those veteran Patriots teams where you just somehow they're just going to figure it out. They got, Rob Ninkovich out there and, Kyle Van Noy, all these random old assholes and Tom Brady. And, it's kind of like that, except you don't feel like they're cheating to get there, so it feels better to watch.
Thanks, Andy Reid. You just look like my grandpa, so I believe you're doing it on the up and up. I'm going to hug you now.
Right? It's crazy that a team within our division that we, effectively hate, we still feel better about them winning the Super Bowl than the fucking Patriots, because at least they didn't cheat to get there.
Yeah. Right?
I'm not going to root for the Chiefs, but, when they played Tom Brady, I rooted for the Chiefs.
I'm pretty sure. Well, in Tampa Bay, no, I was rooting for. Rooting for Brady.
For Brady. I think I just felt bad either way to an extent. I feel like I probably just was relatively neutral and just kind of sad. But yeah, I don't know. I feel better about this. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like that we were able to beat him. But even losing to him doesn't feel like you never had a chance. It just feels like, damn, that kid's really fucking good.
Yeah. Damn, when can we get one of those?
Right?
Yeah, I want one.
Well, and so moving on to the NFC now. We talked about it last show. I said it last show. I thought the Patriots had set the blueprint up to how to beat San Francisco. The only difference was the the Packers just couldn't hold on to what they were doing. And next thing you know, here the Lions are up, what was it, 17-7 going into the half?
And it was 24-10 at one point.
24-10, that's right. And, I thought that, holy crap, they saw what the Packers were doing. God damn it. And
Too much Patriots talk.
Yeah, too much Patriots talk now. But next thing you know, the 49ers made some adjustments, and Dan Campbell just couldn't get off his high horse and lower himself to the fact that it's okay to kick a field goal.
Yep.
Well,
I think both teams that lost the championships, it wasn't the only reason, but one of the biggest reasons they lost was both teams had a coach trying to prove a point.
Yeah,
Todd Monken was trying to pass with Lamar, and Dan Campbell going for it unnecessarily.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens not rushing the ball is definitely one thing, but Dan Campbell, I think that's kind of Riley Patterson, their field goal kicker, has been inconsistent, and I don't know if you trust him in that moment to make that
you
that kick where it was at.
Board, homie. I get it, but
yeah, I mean, honestly, the reason, I mean, the worst part about that game is that it came down to them having to get that onside kick after running the ball on third down.
That was horrible.
That was the worst, because Casey's offense, I mentioned it earlier, wasn't really, or Casey's offense, excuse me. The Niners offense,
the Patriots
were still, they were moving the ball, but the Lions had also stopped them. I want to say 3 straight opportunities or 2 straight before that last drive that they had. So them really not giving themselves a shot. I mean, nothing more than a 2% shot at getting an onside kick. At the end was really messed up because they still would have had their timeouts. They could have kicked it deep, tried to get the ball back and do something. And when you have an explosive offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta, I mean, all these guys, you could see, I mean, not only a Hail Mary, but a hook and ladder play and a lot of different things work.
What was it? The annexation of Puerto Rico?
Annexation of Puerto Rico, whatever you got to run. But you didn't give yourself a chance there at the end. Yeah, I agree. You got to get points, and maybe they should have taken the 3 points, and that they should have taken the 3 points before they let the clock run down.
Yep.
And then try to get the ball back with their 3 timeouts because you're going to need 2 scores either way. But when you're down on the 2-yard line and you're going to run it on third down, and then you're going to run another play after that. That was a very bad play calling, and it's the same thing that he's done all year. He takes chances. Yeah. He takes chances on 4th down. Oh, there goes Nick.
Well, yeah, he was frozen there for a little bit. I don't know if you noticed. He hadn't moved his face much.
I was hoping that he would get caught up because you froze once or twice too. So.
Yeah, when he didn't laugh at my Little Giants joke, I knew that there was something wrong.
Yeah,
I'm back.
We knew when you didn't laugh at the annexation of Puerto Rico, you were gone.
I did laugh at it actually.
Oh,
well, I believe you, but we couldn't see it because you were frozen. It was like that's how we know something's wrong.
Right as I was chuckling at it, that's when my whole computer went, "Yeah, I'm too tired of working." I gotta get it.
Yeah, man, it was just.
I don't know.
It was rough because, you can get away with that play. Like, the CU 5th down play was a play that was called in a hurry-up style. There was 2 plays called. They would do this with Peyton Manning a lot in the hurry-up. I believe John Elway did it a lot, too, with Shanahan, of just calling 2 plays. So you go up, you hike the ball, you run whatever play, and then you immediately hurry back up to the line and you run the second play. So everyone knows that there's 2 plays called. And the famous story with the 5th down game is that it was – 4th down, but they hadn't changed the marker yet, and so Coach Mack calls the 2-play hurry up offense play, and a lineman goes, "But coach, we can't run that. It's 4th down," and he grabs the kid's face, Mack, and says, "Shut the fuck up and just run the plays," because he was like, "Do not let them notice that they fucked this up." So you can do that, but you have to call both plays. When they didn't hurry up and immediately go to some other kind of anything, and also the fact that wasn't a play action, and the dude, it was open. Goff had time. That just so many little things. It's hard to put it on such a young coordinator as Ben Johnson, and I don't know how much of that was the play call and just the decision to run was made by Dan Campbell. I'm not sure, but that whole thing just did not work out. Like I could see him saying, I want to run it, and Johnson calls the run. Or vice versa. Johnson says, we're going to catch him off guard here. We're going to run the ball on the goal line. They won't expect that shit.
Yeah, the whole last series was kind of like, what are they doing here? It felt like it was their first time there. It felt like they had never been there before, and they kind of weren't sure
they really
how to proceed.
Desperation.
How many of those guys actually have playoff experience?
Jared Goff.
Goff, Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. Is Reynolds up? Who's Reynolds with?
The Rams with Jared Goff.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds was one of the 3 or 4, number 3, number 4 receivers for those teams when they went to the playoffs with Gurley and all those guys. That was Reynolds' beginning of his career, but not much on that offense. I almost said Singletary, but that's the wrong one. That's the wrong short bruising running back. Yeah, Montgomery does not have playoff experience.
No, I was like, he was with the Bears forever.
And their defense is, a bunch of former backups and draft picks of the Lions. So, it's really just Goff and Reynolds. And Reynolds didn't actually play that much. He just was there.
And, I was going to say there's one guy who does have playoff experience. The cornerback didn't even play that they got from Philly. Mr. 3 names.
That they got from Philly.
Yep. CB's Gardner Johnson. No. Who am I? Detroit Lions roster. I'll tell you in 1 second. Defensive back. Yeah, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
He changed it to CJ Gardner-Johnson, but it's the same guy.
Yeah.
So there's 3 guys because I forgot he was on their team, but he totally is, and he played for some of those later Sean Payton New Orleans Saints teams with Mike Thomas, the screwed up pass interference game. I'm pretty sure he was there.
That's probably true.
Sadly, he might have been chasing down Stephon Diggs in the Minnesota Miracle. I know it was Marcus Williams that missed the tackle, but
he was in the Super Bowl last year. But he wasn't out on the field. He wasn't on the field either because he was hurt. So
it's gonna be interesting. As much as we hated, we should have expected this to be probably the Super Bowl once the Chiefs made the playoffs. We all knew the 49ers were going to work their way through the NFC without a problem. They just need to realize that they should probably play all 4 quarters against the Chiefs because you can't come in half-assed against this Chiefs team because they'll take advantage of it.
Turns out you should also play all 4 quarters against the Niners because they can actually come back too.
I wonder if Kyle Shanahan exercised some of his demons after being down like that at half.
I think so.
From the Super Bowl, and they just, we have a week to talk about the Super Bowl, but I think Shanahan he probably changed the trajectory and got that monkey off his back in this game after making that comeback. It's kind of scary now to think what the 49ers can do.
As long as we don't have another pandemic afterwards, I'll be fine with it.
Knock on wood.
Right?
This is going to be that heavyweight matchup. It's almost like I said that at the beginning of the playoffs that my pick was going to be Chiefs Niners. I should have pulled up the audio of that, but
I don't believe it if you don't have it saved.
Yeah, that's why I have it saved. I just didn't pull it up. I might have even said it before the season, but I don't remember if we made Super Bowl picks at the beginning of the season. But this is going to be nuts. As long as we don't get a bunch of interceptions and offenses that can't function for one reason or another, this is going to be a really fun, creative football game because both teams have really good defenses that are going to challenge the fuck out of these offenses. But these offenses both are kind of dumb and kind of awesome. Like they're going to do all their weird flippy goal line plays with Kansas City. And, no matter what you do, they're going to find a way to get to Travis Kelce. And now they don't even have to get complicated, and they can just hand it to Pacheco, who's going to stomp the ground. And then the Niners, they got all their weird trickery with Debo, and they can do weird stuff with Ayuk. Probably Brock Purdy's a running quarterback now. Are we going to see some design runs for him? I bet we do. And then obviously Christian McCaffrey might be the best player in the entire Super Bowl. And like, that's sadly, we'll see, Patrick Mahomes obviously probably takes that cake, but if the Niners win, he's MVP, not Brock Purdy. Calling it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Down. It's CMC no matter what.
Yeah, run CMC.
I kind of wish I had put that bet out there for CMC to be the Super Bowl MVP.
Do it now.
Well, yeah, it's still not. At the start of the playoffs, when they had to get a touchdown in the Super Bowl, blah blah blah, they had all those, and then they had Super Bowl MVP odds, which included all the players. Yeah. But Lamar Jackson was obviously number one in the Lamar. But yeah, CMC was third, and it was 1,000 plus 1,000 or something like that.
Nice.
So you're not going to get that number anymore.
No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we got plenty of time to talk Super Bowl. That's going to be fun. There's going to be obviously plenty of stories showing up, and we got peeps that will be boots on the ground in Vegas. So, we can hit up some peeps and, hey, what are you hearing over there? However, we also had boots on the ground on Sunday for a very low entertaining game that I'm sure Joe is very excited to talk about right now.
Sure. It's my favorite.
Do you like quality sports?
There it is.
Do you want only the best, most interesting, and impactful games? Well,
No.
This segment has none of that. Get ready for Joe Goodwin's Lose Bad with Joe Goodwin. Breaking down all of just the worst games every week. Featuring Colin Zanker, I Hardly Know Her. And Nick Archa, Let a Guy Get His Own Segment. I would like to apologize for the following.
I forgot to put the apology at the end. That's
the best
just feels
part.
fitting. I would like to apologize. I should apologize for the previous and the following. Maybe I'll tune it up a little bit. But yeah, just what a phenomenal game this was. And sadly, this really wasn't actually a phenomenal game at all. But it has some fun storylines in it, and it really set up a kick-ass game.
Hold on, which game was it?
Refresh our listeners just in case they missed
or
forgot what the game was.
Oh, it doesn't actually matter at all. Don't even worry. It's fine. So this game, no, it's the Washington Wizards and the Detroit Pistons. And if it wasn't supposed to be that's what I did. I'm pretty sure that was the one.
San Antonio Spurs.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Washington.
It was Washington against the San Antonio Spurs.
I know. That wasn't supposed to come up that early. I was going to do the entire thing about the Washington Pistons game, and then at the very end, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. But either way, no, we're doing Washington Pistons because it's more fun.
That game already happened when we did the show.
Did it really?
Yeah, that was that was Friday night.
No, it was Saturday morning.
Or Saturday morning, whatever. It happened before.
I think it was Sunday morning. I don't think it had happened yet. I was pretty sure that was the one. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't. It was definitely the Spurs. But the Washington Pistons game was actually really funny. Because they had just done a trade about a week or so before of Marvin Bagley and a couple of picks for our guy Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala, another big kind of sharpshooting, just somebody, a veteran that can come in and help Detroit not lose every single fucking game this season. And honestly, I think they're a better roster than the Wizards anyway. But it was kind of fun to see Marvin Bagley come off the bench and get a whopping 13 points. And Nuggets legend Danilo Gallinari didn't play and everyone's favorite sharpshooting big man, Mike Muscala, hit a whopping, was it a negative 11? Negative 11. 0 points. It was phenomenal. It was just a wonderful game. But it was a revenge game for the Wizards because they had a game a few weeks ago also against the Pistons where they actually managed to lose. And Kyle Kuzma or Jordan Poole, I forget which one, put out a hilarious tweet that was like, "Don't be that team." And it was the score of losing to the Pistons. And it's like, bro, you guys might be worse than the Pistons. And like, you have some actual stars to an extent. Like, you got tradable pieces, and it still feels like I would take the Pistons in a game over the Wizards. I mean, Jordan Poole is like a net negative, it feels like, most games, although he was actually a plus in this one. So I guess he was proving his worth to an extent, only 17 points. But he was a plus 25. So I guess, he played some defense or some guys missed shots while he was on the court. Whatever. But yeah, Washington got their revenge. Detroit was all happy because they got to beat somebody. But Washington only has a 3-game lead on them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington ends up being the worst team in the NBA by the end of the year, because it's only a 3-game difference. Detroit can win, some games. I don't know. But the hilarious part is right after this, the next game the Pistons had was against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we're like, oh, man, that's not going to be a fun game to watch. They're just going to get completely destroyed. They beat the Thunder by like 15 points. Like, the Thunder beat the Nuggets the other day. You could argue because the Pistons beat the Thunder, the Pistons are better than Nuggets. That's just, that's how it is. That's logic.
You could argue that.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but
the
someone
Broncos
could.
Should be in the Super Bowl, obviously.
100%. Well, maybe more so the Raiders.
Two more wins. It's a different Broncos team.
Yeah.
They could have lost in the first round to Houston again.
No. I mean, going back further, the Commanders should be in the Super Bowl.
I think so. Or
the Patriots. Super Bowl.
We've mentioned the Patriots a lot today.
Yeah.
Mac Jones seems like a playoff quarterback. Definitely not dirty.
Bailey Zappi, dude. What are you talking about?
Ooh, that's true.
He's got a name that sells.
Zappy. I'm getting happy for Zappy.
See, it sells.
That's pretty good.
You're welcome to it. You can keep the first one for free.
Yeah, the first one's free. That's how we're going to get you hooked on our stupid nicknames for people. But this was just more entertaining than the Washington Spurs game was. So I just decided to audible it and do this one. But yeah, I meant to keep that going the whole time of is this the right game? No, this is not the right game, but we're doing it anyway.
Joe to change the rules. We'll jump into originally
there was never any rules.
Originally the Nuggets were still on a winning streak when I originally put this together, and then last night happened. They lost by 5 to the OKC Thunder, as we just talked about. It also doesn't help that Joker wasn't playing either, so there's probably 9 points right there at least. So I mean,
some rebounds.
Yeah, some rebounds. So, I mean, there's, Joker needs some time off too once in a while. We can't expect him to play every single game. Unlike Embiid, who actually did hurt his knee, if you guys haven't heard. Lateral meniscus tear.
Yep, that's what you get for taking a game off that you shouldn't have.
Yep.
Out of game shape.
Yep, that's how it goes.
I just thought that was funny. I was like, oh, he really did tear. That's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hurt his knee against the Warriors.
The game after.
Fell on it and fucked it up.
At the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't put all of that stuff on Embiid to an extent. A lot of it is also the Sixers just sitting their star.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of coaches' decisions. But you know what? He's definitely not fighting it, though. He's definitely yeah, sure, whatever. We'll kick it. And it's such a shame. The season that he's having, he really is the MVP this year. He is playing so fucking good. And obviously that's for the first half of the year because we haven't seen the second half yet. But he deserves the MVP this year way more than obviously last year. He did not deserve the MVP. He just got it because of media bullshit. So it's just such a shame that Jokic couldn't have got his 3 in a row. And then this year Embiid would win it. But now we have that stupid rule of you have to play 65 games, which I like the idea on paper. I think 65 is too many. I think most stars these days, you have any kind of slight injury, you're going to miss some games here and there. Like, that's just a lot. And Embiid misses more games than other stars do. So the fact that he can only miss like 3 or 4 games in the season to be eligible is kind of their fault also. But I think we're going to see them kind of lengthen that limit a little bit more in the next coming years. But all we're going to fucking hear is how Embiid should have been the MVP this year, and whoever wins it is going to be a fake,
an asterisk MVP.
Exactly, asterisk MVP. That's a good way to put it. So that's part, I think, is the biggest shame, because the Sixers are a very good team, and they're going to make a move hopefully at the deadline to become a little bit more interesting. But even if they don't, kind of like the Nuggets, they have a quality team. They have good players. They could get rid of Tobias Harris's contract, but that's definitely a playoff matchup you could see. It's just all people are going to talk about is that that MVP for a while, unless we get Jokic Embiid in the finals and Jokic beats him.
Jesus, sorry, I'm watching the Shriner game as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on there?
Punt return for a touchdown with some pretty terrible tackling. Anthony Gold out of Oregon, or I'm sorry, Oregon State. Well, a Beaver.
Ooh, a Beaver.
A Beaver just ran it back for a tutty on a punt. Now they're going for 2 because the West was owning this game in the beginning. Tua's little brother was all over the place, on fire, and Frank Gore Jr. was showing us his football prowess.
We get Frank Gore Jr.?
Yep, he's coming out.
All his dad had to do was play 5 more years, and he could have played with his kid.
You're right.
He was so close. So randomly here, the 76ers, I just had a thought with what the Sixers could do, as far as their trades go, and I was like, oh, could the Sixers get Bruce Brown? Someone put together a trade deal for the Sixers to get Bruce Brown.
Oh yeah, they very easily could.
But it takes some moves. So this is the package. They would trade Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and KJ Martin. KJ Martin, along with the 2026 first round pick, and they would get just Bruce Brown. So it could be possible that if the Sixers make a run and the Nuggets do, that Bruce Brown makes it back to the finals.
That's not a possible trade, though, because you have to get equal players back. So they'd have to be a third team in there. Because if they can't get just Bruce Brown back, they'd have to get Bruce Brown and some random low-tier bullshit guys.
Maybe they pull a G League kid.
Yeah, because you can't have less than 14 players on your roster.
Yeah, but you can sign, you can sign some.
They can sign later, but I don't think that would trade. And maybe they could do some stuff to make it work. But I'm pretty sure that they would. The Raptors would have to put in something because it has to match up. You can't just.
No, it doesn't have to match up player for player.
The same amount of players, though. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
When does it not? In the off season sometimes, yeah, but no, in the regular season it has to match up. They can't just even playing 2K, it'll stop you. It won't let you do it unless you have the right amount of players. It has to be the same amount of guys. That's why a lot of guys get traded and then immediately cut or traded away afterwards or whatever. But if they could find a third team to maybe send in some cheaper guys to make some of that work, but I don't think that is actually a viable trade, but I think they can still make it work somehow. They've got enough guys, and Bruce Brown's a quality role player. The rumor is Bruce Brown to the Knicks, but
yeah, that's been on there. But yeah, you don't have to have you don't have to have the exact amount. Yes, you do have to have a minimum roster, but they could always sign guys too, to their active roster.
Yeah, I've always been under the impression you can't do that. Because most trades like that always happen where guys are getting cut at the last second, but I guess maybe trade deadline could be different. There could be some other rules, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that would totally work out, but I could see them going for Bruce Brown for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know it's just one player difference, but even the Bruce Brown trade itself wasn't a 1-1. It was a 2-1.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was in the offseason, wasn't it?
No, that just happened.
From the Pacers
to the Raptors.
Oh,
it was Pascal Siakam for Bruce
Pascal
Brown
Siakam
and Jordan Nora.
There's
three first-round picks.
I feel like there was a couple lower tier guys in there to make it match up too. I'm
looking at it right now.
Maybe not. Well, I mean, while you guys discuss that, so we don't have dead air here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nuggets came into the game last night with OKC. This was obviously one of their toughest stretches. They had a lot of games in a short amount of time, and quality opponents. Especially having to go back east. Up and down the coast a couple times. We all kind of penciled in that Knicks game as a loss. Just because of where everything was. And I think last night was just, Jamal got tired, and I mean, AG balled out last night.
Yeah.
AG was pretty much the reason they stayed in that game.
Well, it's another double-double for him when he's, got to be that second guy up. We saw it in the playoffs too. He has the ability to step up, and while he might not be the, he's not always an alpha number one type of guy, but he can play that role and play it really well. Like we saw it in Orlando when he was in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that he can play that role, but that's not his strength. But you ask him to do it, a few times a year, okay, they're good to go.
Yeah, he'll ball out.
Yeah, it's just good to have him. Good to have him back. It's kind of crazy that less than a month ago was his dog attack.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at it. You look at his hand though too, and his face and the way the news was reporting it. It was like he got mauled by his dog, and it turns out looks like it was just his dog got a little carried away. I mean, you got Frank the Tank right there. That's Frank right there, and it's just like when you get a little roughhouse with your dog a little bit. They don't always know how hard they're biting.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You get a German Shepherd, and every once in a while, like just get a little too far into that mouth. You don't mean to, and you don't. You're not mad at them, but they don't understand sometimes either.
Yeah.
And you look at his.
He would never. Locko would never lock his jaw on me, would you, buddy?
No.
He just wants his cookies, and he wants. Go outside right now.
Let me kick it up to the Avalanche real quick. How do you guys feel about this long bye weekend of the All-Star break for the Avs?
I mean, I like it. I like everything about it besides the jerseys.
Yeah. We already made fun of those.
I know. I think this gives the Avs a good opportunity to really step away from the team and day-to-day operations and look at what they need to do. Obviously, the Zach Parise signing was really nice for the Avs. But the time away, letting those guys get away, and then you can get down to business and start crunching numbers and trying to work trades. This is a time where, you have GMs and people available to talk. Like they're not running on – everyone's off. So – For a guy like Sakic and hopefully McFarland, obviously McFarland, Sakic can pull the strings, yes. But this is where they can start at least planting seeds and figuring out who they could possibly trade for, or who might be ready, test the waters and see. There are teams that are out of it already who have players that the Avs could really, use. I was just talking about this the other day with my friend Brandon, and when you look at the standings, like a team like the Kings I'm not saying that Kings are sellers or anything, but the Kings started off this season so hot, with their winning streak and, beating the Avs. but then they've had a terrible skid of losing, and they've gone from one of the top teams down to possibly out of the playoffs. I mean, they're in 4th place in the Pacific Division, and they were crushing. So you have teams, the Blackhawks are out of it. We all knew they would be sellers. The Sharks, the Ducks. I mean, there's some really bad teams in the West, but you look out east, and I'm just saying, the Pittsburgh Penguins have 51 points, are in 5th place in their division, and that 5th place would only be good enough for 6th place, and that's by 7 points in the Atlantic Conference in the East. So they're 5, 10, they're 11th right now. I'm not gonna let it die.
I know you're not.
I just wanted to happen. Come on, Sid the Kid.
It's not gonna happen.
But no, there are some teams I think legitimately could that the Avs could get some help from, and even one of those could be the Capitals. Ovechkin, we saw him here the other week. The Ovechkin, it's his last year. I'm not saying they're bringing in Ovechkin, but the Capitals are going to have to unload all these guys.
I like this. You go from Sidney Crosby to Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying
you get one legendary guy.
I don't want Ovechkin in here, but what I am saying is that that team.
But you want Sidney Crosby?
I'd rather have Sidney Crosby than Alexander Ovechkin. Yeah.
Why?
At least he doesn't sit at the blue line, and that's all he does. Sidney Crosby is still active and can still win you face-offs and can still create offense for your team. Give me a fucking break. Ovechkin literally is so old. One of my friends who went to the Avs versus the Caps game said that all Ovechkin did was sit at the blue line and wait for the puck. And then he went to the bench. He didn't go back on defense. He's not the guy he used to be. I'm not saying he can't turn it on for a game or two, but I'd much rather have Sidney Crosby. But the Capitals, and I'm not saying I want Ovechkin. Let me make that clear. The Capitals have 51 points this season. It's probably Ovechkin's last year. They're going to have to reload and get some draft picks. And, you could pick some talent off of that team as they go into the rebuild mode. Because this is not a team that's anywhere close to winning a championship. I mean, they have one of the worst differentials in the NHL. Let's see, right now they are, I guess they're sixth worst differential overall. And goals for, goals against. But they are, minus 31. It's not good. But there are teams that you can pick from that I think there's some talent, and the Avs might have to send some young talent, but like I said, I think this is a good time for them to try and see what happens. I mean, the Minnesota Wild.
I was going to say the one team I'm looking at is Minnesota.
Fleury's supposedly available.
That's one you don't have to give up a bunch of young talent for either, because he's old as shit. So his value basically is just that he's a legend. And that he's still looking to play for a little bit more, and the Avs could use some leadership like that. They could use a guy that could come in and be either a quality number 2 or a guy that would supplant Georgie, and then Georgie would be that quality number 2. And maybe you just kind of play, 2 goalies a little bit more.
Walk that line. That's a fine
because your backup
walk,
goalie's still going to play in the playoffs.
And that's a fine walk, though. If you're going to bring Fleury in, you got to really be careful with what you do with Georgie, because he's earned his spot as the number 1. Yes, it's Fleury, but at the same time, you got to really walk that line, because Georgie's earned that number 1 spot. You can have a 1A, 1B. That's not bad, but if you end up putting Fleury in the number 1 spot, you better have damn good evidence to back up what you're doing, because it's not just Georgie you're going to piss off. It's the rest of the team too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought Georgie was having a rough year, and they kind of needed to find somebody else.
Well, he's having a rough year because he's playing so much. He's not getting a whole lot of help from whoever's backing him up.
Well, yeah, because they've all been injured, and you can't rely on those other guys to stay healthy. But, Georgie's having – the Avs in general are having – a really rough year. I mean, they're averaging 3.1 goals against, for the season.
That's not good.
No, it isn't.
No, but some of it's on the lack of second and third lines too, and your lack of defensemen after you take Makar and his crew off the ice.
No, I know, but you also need a goaltender like Fleury can make up for that too, though.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Stand on his head. Do you trust the young kid Georgie to stand on his head and win you a playoff game?
Or Marc-Andre Fleury. Yeah. I mean, even the Penguins, who I was mentioning earlier, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're the 6th best goals against average, and the Kings are the 5th best. The Kings are out of it. Like, I mean, there are goaltender possibilities for the Avs to go get if they want to. And if I was Sakic and McFarland right now, I'd be making those phone calls.
Yeah. Real quick, just because I have to ask this question because I saw this video the other day. I don't remember if I sent it to you guys or if I forgot to. Sir Patrick was out with his team, his newly acquired New York Islanders.
Sir Patrick Swayze?
Huh?
Sir Patrick Swayze?
Anyway.
What was it, Sir Patrick Stewart?
Yes. So St. Patty is out there with his team yelling at them, smacking the ice.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to go over under Patrick Waugh's coaching career in New York. A season and a half. Over or under? He's fiery, remember.
So you think he's going to last an entire season is what you're saying?
No,
well, he's saying he's going into next season and it'll last most of next season, basically. See, the tough part is the Islanders are probably gonna make the playoffs. I mean, as it sits now, they're in the playoffs. Obviously, there's a chance they could get bounced out, but actually, right now they're the first team out. Excuse me, I missed that. They are the first team out. If he gets them to the playoffs over a season and a half, I give him an over. Because if he can lead them from where they were at to start the season into the playoffs, they're good. Even if they're one spot out. So I say, top 9, he gets a year and a half and they give him a full year next year. If they end up worse than top 9, no, I don't know if he makes it into next season.
Yeah, it might be like an interim. I don't know though. They sounded pretty high on Patrick. Like they wanted that kind of fiery, angry voice from the front office, and the players, at least at first, have said, "Yeah, sure, we'll take it. We'll be coached. We'll take whatever we can get. We want to win." So that's a really good point. If they can make it into the playoffs, that gives you a win right there. God, I have hiccups now.
I don't know. I'm intrigued to watch.
You know what? Just to be spicy, I'll take the under.
That's. I mean,
he's gonna yell at somebody. He's gonna try to trade their best.
He's gonna try to get a fight with somebody.
Yep.
They're gonna have to pull him off the ice at some point. I'm sure of it.
Also,
he's gonna put on the pads and be like, "You can't score on me."
Didn't Matt Duchene have a goal against the Islanders, or have like a missed goal or something along those lines
for the Stars? I think he won the game against them.
Yeah, there was something along those lines. Yeah, it was a goal from Duchene that won the game. Yeah, his first game back. That's just so fitting, so poetic. And I love Patrick Waugh, don't get me wrong, but
I just had to ask that question before we.
Just because you love a guy doesn't mean you actually think it's going to work out.
Yeah. Speaking of not working
out,
speaking of not working out, let's listen to our bets that we made this weekend and find out how bad we really did.
Welcome to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta.
There we go.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time.
Hosted by Nick Archuleta.
Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
Well, one of us might have the hiccups in real life. Two of us might have hiccuped this last week in our pick'em, and one of us went 3-1. Who was it, you all may ask? Well, let's get into it.
You decide.
You'll decide. It was the NFL decided the Chiefs versus the Ravens. The Chiefs versus Ravens. Well, one person chose the Chiefs, and that would be Joe. Nick and I both get that wrong. That was the biggest underdog of the weekend to win at plus 170. So, Joe, that's $27 in your pocket.
Oh, cool.
I'm the only one who liked the 49ers, so give me $13 and some change in my pocket as Nick and Joe both lose that. I think you know what Nick did this week already.
I knew.
The Suns versus the Magic. The Magic were at 100 plus 100 or minus 100. Doesn't really matter. It doubles your money if you pick the right team. And Nick and I did. So that's $20 in the pocket. Joe, you lost 10. And if you're keeping track at home, that's 2 losses for Nick, 2 losses for Joe. That must mean Colin had 3 wins. And
also, who won the
complex fucking bullshit?
Yeah, the Magic beat the Suns.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot who I picked.
Oh, you picked the Suns, yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Sinner comes through. Medved Autoplex shuttered its doors in fear of the upcoming new worldwide pandemic after the
Medved Autoplex went the way of Rocky's Autos.
They decided to prematurely shut everything down and take the money and run. I won. Sinner was actually a huge favorite in this matchup at minus 310. So, it wasn't a huge win, but
$4.
Yeah. So, $3.23. But
I was joking. That's
yes. Yeah, I had 2 bets. 2 bets. Oh, that's actually 3, 15. Not 03. One of my numbers was a little off, guys. So I just got to fix this.
Man, fine. I gotta check out parlay I had anyway.
And then I got to take 20 cents off of this, just so the math is right and I'm giving accurate numbers. So the big loser this week, Nick, you lost $10. Joe, you lost 3. I won $36.26. Actually, that's $36.06, but that's okay. The final math is correct. We are still all in the black. I am at 159.21. Joe, Nick, you're in second, 107.21. And Joe, you're in third at 48.45. Gotta get you over 100. Well, probably not this weekend because there's no extra things going on. But we will go over those Saturday, our next set of picks.
How many yards do you have?
What?
I forgot to check my parlay, and I missed by 1 leg because I had the Lions covering the spread, Jahmyr Gibbs score anytime touchdown, and Jared Goff 275 or more passing yards. And now
you always just miss the 1 leg.
It's always
I had a $25 one that would have won me $1,100. But I took Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown.
Oh.
Dude, I hit Pacheco touchdown, Kelsey touchdown, Pacheco over yards. I took the Chiefs to cover.
3 yards.
I took a McCaffrey touchdown. Damn.
He had 273 yards passing. 3 yards at plus 800.
Damn.
It was one of those like a lateral pass that was considered a pass that should have been That wasn't lateral.
Yeah, like it was a run.
Oh, yeah, probably. There's probably like 4 of those in there.
Yeah, who knows?
Well,
you know what? If that one guy catches that ball, the Lions not only convert on 4th down, but Nick hits his parlay.
Was it the 3 or the 2? It might have been 1 yard short.
It was plus 825 for 275 plus passing yards.
Damn, that's those passing yard ones. I always get like worried about those because they're so high. Like, and guys hit them all the time, but that's still a lot of yards. You have to be a pretty high flying offense, and the Lions get it a lot. But whenever I see those, 200 and something yards, I'm like, you know what? I would just rather take something else. But dude, you had it. It was right there. That should have worked. I'm sorry.
We'll be daydreaming, the name of this musical accompaniment, about our next victories.
Yeah. I just got fucked by Lamar Jackson.
Thanks to Michael Scott and everybody over at e5280sports.com for having us on there. Also, thanks to our new sponsors, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Head down the street, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Get yourself some nice packs of cards to open up. We all love doing it. You want to do it.
That's
Pikes
awesome.
Peak Sports Cards. Check them out. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We love you. For Collins Anchor, Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been the Undrafted, Uncensored.
I'm actually interested. Does this place have like Magic cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards too?
I believe so.
I want to go there. Where is it located?